Let's talk about what we can all learn from Dick Costolo's entrepreneurial journey that we saw in the previous video. The first question I would ask you is, now that you have seen Costolo's journey, is Costolo a genius? When I ask this question to an MBA class, those who think Costolo is a genius usually say that he is a genius because he was great at learning from his past failures and never repeated his mistakes. He had incredible perseverance to keep trying different things despite multiple failures. But genius implies having an extraordinary gift that ordinary people just do not have. So, is Costolo a genius then? What's his extraordinary gift? Next, can you identify from the case what Costolo's killer startup idea was? When I talk to students who say that they want to start a startup but haven't done it yet, and I ask them why they haven't started up yet, most say that it's because they are waiting for a killer startup idea. Surely Costolo must have also had a killer startup idea then? Can you identify what it was? Was it web consulting? Or building blogging tools? Or the idea of building spies to track web pages? Or building RSS tools for publishers? It can't be web consulting because that's too simple to be a killer idea. Blogging tools? Whose idea was that? That was the idea of the Kellogg guys at DKA. Costolo and team did not think it up themselves. Spies? Whose idea was that? That was the idea of Matt Rettig, Costolo's ex-co-founder at Burning Door 1, who left the team long before they started Spy on it. RSS tools? Wasn't that obvious? If you had been working on alerts and web page spies for such a long time, wouldn't it be obvious to you too to build RSS tools for publishers? So what was Costolo's killer startup idea? Next, have you ever had a startup idea that you kept secret for fear of it being copied? Think for a minute if you like. In a usual MBA class at IIM Bangalore, around 70% of students answer that they have indeed kept a startup idea secret for this reason. If you also answered yes to this question, I would ask you to think deeply about why you believe this. What are the origins of this belief in your mind? Do you have direct experience of someone copying your startup idea that then went on to succeed? Or does this belief stem from stories in our culture that you have heard about startup ideas being copied? When I ask this question in class, many students point me to the movie The Social Network. The movie apparently shows that the idea for Facebook was copied by Mark Zuckerberg from the Winklevoss twins. We will come back to this movie later. But for now, I will ask you to step away from movies and cultural stories and test this belief against Costolo's actual lived experience. Could Costolo's idea have been stolen? Which idea could have been stolen? Web consulting? Blogging tools? Spies? RSS tools? Also, why did DFJ Portage invest in FeedBurner? Was it because they really believed in the idea of RSS tools? Let me answer the questions I have asked so far. You can't say that Costolo is a genius. Perseverance is not extraordinary. You don't need to be a genius to persevere. The case highlights so many instances where Costolo and team made major mistakes and learned from these failures to do it better the next time. There's nothing extraordinary about learning from your mistakes. Everyone does it. This should be encouraging. If Costolo can wildly succeed at entrepreneurship with just perseverance and without genius, you may also succeed with just perseverance. Costolo's story shows that you don't need genius to succeed in entrepreneurship. You only need to be relentless. Next, Costolo clearly never had a killer startup idea. He started up with something as mundane as software consulting and continuously iterated from there on. He kept failing and learning from his failures to do it better the next time. Every new idea was an evolution of a previous one. This is why no one could have stolen Costolo's ideas. VCs couldn't even build the conviction to invest in the idea of RSS tools in 2004. DFJ Portage didn't completely believe in the idea either. They invested in FeedBurner only because they had a prior relationship with Costolo and took a bet on the team. In reality, good startup ideas are not just a few lines that you can write on a piece of paper that someone can then steal. They involve a lot more. I will expand on this and present a framework for this concept in the next set of videos. The movie, The Social Network, also gives us a clue that startup ideas may be more than a few lines written on a piece of paper. The movie has a scene where Mark Zuckerberg says to the Winklevoss twins in the middle of a deposition with lawyers, "If you guys were the inventors of Facebook, you would have invented Facebook." What Mark is implying is that the idea of Facebook was much more than what the Winklevoss twins thought it was. Now, a final question. Costolo and team had to go through 4 startups and 13 years of persistent struggle before they found success. Amongst entrepreneurs who succeed, how common do you think such a journey is? Is it common or is it rare? Let's look at the examples of a few more entrepreneurs to get a sense of how common such a journey is. You may have heard of Travis Kalanick, the founder of Uber. He started his entrepreneurial journey in 1999 with Scar, a P2P file sharing service that later went bankrupt. Next, he founded another P2P file sharing startup, Red Swoosh, that he ran for 7 years and sold to Akamai in a small deal in which he most likely made little money. He founded Uber in 2009, 10 years after becoming an entrepreneur. Or Erin Bali, founder of Udemy. He started his entrepreneurial journey in 2005 with eOffer, a P2P file sharing service that later went bankrupt. Next, he founded NoBand in 2007, which was an online mentorship platform. This too did not succeed. Next, he became the founding engineer at SpeedDate, an online dating service, which again did not work out. He started Udemy in 2010 after 3 previous failures. Or James Park, founder of Fitbit. He began his entrepreneurial journey after dropping out of Harvard in 1999 with Epesi, an e-commerce payment wallet that later went bankrupt. Next, he founded Haypix in 2002 with Eric Friedman, the first engineer that he had hired at Epesi. Haypix was a photo sharing service and was acquired by CNET in a small deal. Next, James and Eric co-founded Fitbit in 2007, 8 years after James became an entrepreneur. Or Stuart Butterfield, founder of Slack. He began his journey in 2000 when he founded GradFinder, an online community for college alumni that had a small exit. Later, he founded Game Neverending in 2002, which shut down. Next, he founded Flickr in 2003 and sold it to Yahoo for $25 million, a modest exit. His next venture was Glitch, an online game that again did not work out. He founded Slack in 2013, 13 years after he became an entrepreneur. The founders of Dropbox, Netflix, HubSpot, Twilio, Gusto, and Casper have had very similar journeys, where they failed in their first few startups for many years before they found success. Looking at hard data, there were 112 startups that had a successful IPO on either NYSE or NASDAQ in 2019. Of these 112, almost half had at least one co-founder who had started a previous venture before, and 21% had at least one co-founder who had started 2 or more ventures before. Note that this data is from the public LinkedIn profiles of founders and does not include all those cases where founders did not list their past failures on their LinkedIn profiles. It also does not count cases where a startup shut down an initial idea and pivoted to something completely different, which later succeeded. So this data gives us our answer. Costolo's journey is not rare. It may in fact be the norm for successful entrepreneurs. This is in line with the work of Ali Tamaseb that he published in his book Super Founders. Ali studied 20,000 startups and 200 unicorns and found that founders of 60% of all unicorns had started at least one prior venture. Take a moment to think about this. It may come as a surprise to you, but most successful entrepreneurs begin their entrepreneurial journey with failure. So what does this tell you about startup ideas? Getting back to Costolo. Again, is Costolo a genius? Could someone have stolen Costolo's startup idea? What was Costolo's killer startup idea? I have answered these questions before, but for you to truly absorb the answers, I will present a framework in the next video to explain what a good startup idea is and what it is not. Hey there, I'm KJ Saxena, founder of Relentless VC. The video you just watched is part of the Venture Capital and Entrepreneurship specialization, which is available absolutely for free on relentless.ventures. Go check it out. If you're a tech startup founder and want to raise money from us, you should apply on our website. Lastly, if you like this video, do subscribe and share it with your friends.